because you always used to act when like defending.
I think it's like
people deluded. I'm back again.
Come on, Ian. Man. Come on.
People deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. Please make sure you smash the like button. I hang around like a bad smell. Now, I've been sat here. I'm sure a lot of you are anticipating Arsenal, Chelsea. We want the day to probably speed up, but I've been sat here making videos with you lot, aware of any Arsenal news, and I thought it's an opportunity to get another video out. So if you haven't already hit the like button, do make sure to turn on your notifications, smash the like button. Be aware, people, you see it floating in this message, in this video, in a message bar. But it's Arsenal versus Chelsea. So it's Arsenal versus Chelsea watch along business. We kick off at 8 p.m. I'll be live from 7 p.m. across YouTube and Twitch. Make sure you're following on Twitch as well. Let's see what Mikel Arteta has had to say, or better yet, what the Evening Standard has had to say. Arsenal transfer news. Mikel Arteta sets out summer plan in plea for club to nail recruitment. Declan Rice and Mason Mount among stars being targeted by the Gunners. Mikel Arteta, hey, these pop-ups are not nice, are they? Mikel Arteta has warned Arsenal are going to have to nail their recruitment this summer as they bid to become consistent title challengers. The club is ready to invest heavily to make quality additions for next season and will target players who they feel can help them compete in the Champions League. As we already know, West Ham captain Declan Rice is their top target, with 2 midfielders, a centre-back and possibly another forward their main priorities. I hear that. What about right back? Oh, you throw in Fresnador, and I think that's about all right, really. You know, we've got a big summer. We have to sell Balogun and Patino if they do want to leave. Pablo Mari's one off the tick list because Monza have confirmed staying in Serie A, so he's going there. We have to address Pepe, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, see what's happening with Reece Nelson, assess the futures of players at the club, really. You know, Kyrgios, he's just signed, but he's barely played. That is, I'm forcing it, but that's something to consider. Smith Rowe, Fabio Vieira, Lokonga. I'm just trying to paint a picture, and there's probably a bunch of players at this football club that I, and a lot of Arsenal fans probably even forgot that were there. And also, we need to get over the line, probably where new deals are concerned for Granit Xhaka, option in his contract, but 2024 is his expiry date. Obviously, Saliba has not been signed. Saka, technically, for all we hear, is done. It's not been announced. So to me, as an ignorant fan, it's not done. You get it. We need to follow with what Martinelli's doing. And you hear the likes of Benjamin White, Odegaard, Ramsdale are all in line for improved deals as well, as the focus shifts to 2025 contracts like Thomas Partey. I actually think our manager, Mikel Arteta. But that's promising to hear. We want 2 midfielders and a centre-back. You know, as good as we are, you know, if we're going to keep developing and we're going to compete in trophies, it can't all go down the toilet if Saliba isn't here. I do think we've missed Saliba defensively and offensively, and that's had a knock-on effect for our system. But as much as I rate what we're doing this year, and I love the foundation and the building blocks, I think all it's done is really, it's a blessing in disguise in that if Arteta didn't know or the fans didn't know, it's just highlighted the issues we have. You know, no matter how good Saliba is, if one man is gone and we fall down the toilet defensively, are we a good defensive side? Really and truly. And it's naive to expect these players to be able to be fit and available for every game. We need depth. Look at City. They've got Kyle Walker, who's a fullback, can play centre-half if required. Rodri can actually do a shift there, in which Declan Rice would be an addition. They've obviously got Akanji. Ake, who was brought in primarily as a squad player and has been probably their best performing player this season. Diaz, Stones, Laporte are still there contracted. You can't have too much, and we need to be over-prepared versus under-prepared. So it's promising to hear 2 midfielders. That takes us up a level. Potentially another forward. Me personally, I wouldn't mind a right winger or a striker that's a bit more physical than what we have already. And I would like to bring in a right back as well. Big up Tomiyasu. The Gunners retain an interest in Caicedo after failing with 2 bids for the Brighton midfielder in January, and they're keeping tabs on Crystal Palace defender Mark Gurhey. It's just like we're getting all the Cobham boys up here, you know, to be fair. Chelsea releasing Eddie Nketiah served us well. They did release Declan Rice and they let go of Mark Gurhey, so maybe it's a reunion. They also have an interest in Mason Mount, who will have 1 year left on his Chelsea contract this summer, but Liverpool are viewed as the favourites to sign the midfielder, people. Moving on, Arsenal have pushed Man City in the title race this season and can regain top spot in the Premier League by beating Chelsea at the Emirates Stadium tonight. Arteta and the owners, the Kroenkes, want to compete for major trophies consistently, and the Arsenal manager has stressed the importance of their transfer business this summer as the club prepares to return to the Champions League for the first time in 6 years. We are really lucky because when you open the doors of Arsenal, you talk about Arsenal to any player, they want to come. Why? My experience has been that regardless of Champions League football helps because every player wants to be involved in that competition, and it's going to help us because we are going to have to nail the recruitment, because we know we're going to have to play a different level and the demands are going to be even higher, and you're probably going to have to cut loose some players that are part of the squad. Arsenal are set to earn a minimum of an extra 50 million from being in the Champions League next season, and their transfer budget could be bolstered by their sales if they decide to cash in on players such as Balogun and Kieran Tierney. Balogun is being wanted by a whole host of clubs across Europe with his 18 goals and counting in Ligue 1. Tierney has been marginalised, obviously, with Zinchenko's emergence. Sambi Lokonga and left-back Nuno Tavares, who have both been out on loan this season, also have uncertain futures. Again, I would actually loan out Lokonga one more time, send him to Burnley to go and work on the company. You've got a Euros at the end of the season next year. Company said you're the next Yaya Toure. Burnley have got promoted and they're playing attractive football. If you can't show us something with a manager that believes in your abilities, you get it. You go over there or go to Crystal Palace. Balogun, if we keep you and whatever, you should go to Crystal Palace if you're not going to get game time, because I can't see them bringing in too many strikers. Tavares, just get the money and run in it. If you want to sell Sambi, why not? Because really, we should be saying one midfielder. Sambi Lokonga should be playing either as a really good number 8 or a 6. Unfortunately, it hasn't happened. Tierney should only be, Tierney might be allowed to leave, but when we haven't addressed right back, centre half, centre midfield, and any other areas, we're putting more holes in our team. But we've probably known Tierney's desires already. But we're going to be in the champs, Tierney. Just cool off. So we'll have to see, people, really and truly. So this article has really just said that we retain an interest in Declan Rice, Mason Mount, Caicedo. We're looking at targeting several positions, and several players could depart the club as well. We currently have no winning 4. That needs to change today, people. It needs to change today. It is what it is in that regards. Apparently, Tottenham are to rival Arsenal for Crystal Palace defender Mark Guehi, as both clubs aim to upgrade their defense. To be honest, you're more likely to just immediately walk into Spurs' team than ours. You'd be a good option. You could put pressure on Gabriel and obviously Saliba. If Kyrgios starts to look like a player, you've got 4 centre halves fighting for 2 roles. More headaches for Arteta. He's been doing what he needs to do at Crystal Palace, showing his captain mentality, been capped by the country as well. Better than Rob Holding, witithout a doubt. We've shipped 11 goals in 4 games without Saliba, and I think we can see something similar with Saliba. Saliba's not a miracle worker as great as he is. I think his absence has highlighted our fragile nature, our fragilities defensively, really and truly. Holding's performed a lot better than people can give him credit for. Kyrgios probably not ready in Arteta's eyes because he's been reluctant to use him, and he just played 3 times since signing for 20-odd million quid, people. Apparently, Chelsea are due a sizable percentage of any future sales, so that would have a knock-on effect on any potential negotiations with Arsenal and Crystal Palace or any club they sell him to. Charles Watts has done a piece on Mason Mount. Would the Gunners signing Chelsea's homegrown star make sense? Yes and no. Yes, because I think he's a blank canvas that Arteta could work with. He can play as an 8, play out wide. I think there's a lot of definition that needs to be done. English Premier League proven. I think he's a good player with bad habits personally, but we'll have to see. And as it says here, Arsenal are set for a busy summer as Mikel Arteta and technical director Edu look to build a squad capable of competing in both the Prem and Champions League. Arsenal are expected to spend big once again, with Declan Rice and Caicedo on the radar once the window opens. But Mason Mount is another player the North London club have held discussions about. The England international is expected to leave Stamford Bridge this summer as he enters the final year of his contract. But would a move for Mount, who will miss the game obviously due to injury, be a good option for Arsenal? Goal.com have taken the pros and the cons. We know he's Premier League ready and he wouldn't need to settle. He would need to adapt to what Mikel Arteta demands of him, but his personal life with his girlfriend living in London, obviously that's nothing to consider. I think, we've kind of got our project a lot quicker ahead than Chelsea at the moment, so you could slot in. Every Chelsea player looks like a spare part, really. Looks like incorrect pieces to a puzzle, which wouldn't be here. And we have seen what signing Trossard, Zinchenko, Jesus have done. I don't think Mount has impacted Chelsea in the way that Trossard did for Brighton, Jesus in his own little way for City when he's been utilised, and obviously Zinchenko are squad players, but I'm having him, man. I don't think he's a bad player, really and truly, man. He is coming off a bad season. The only thing that would mess it up for me would be the wages, because you hear he wants wages parity to Reece James and stuff like that. If you're playing like them, man, and doing what Sterling and Reece James and them, man, have done, then why not? So if I equate that to Arsenal logic, you're going to want potentially near enough what Saka, Martinelli, Saliba, potentially Declan Rice or Moses Caicedo coming in and wanting, or probably close to Thomas Partey, and you don't deserve that really. So that's why I think it's done really. And because I don't know, are you a 10 or you a 8? Where are you? You can play everywhere, but the same thing I praise you for is the same thing that kind of kills you as well. So I don't think it happens. He would fit Mikel Arteta's system. He's cooking the 8 role, to be honest with you. I'm happy with Smith Rowe. I don't, if it means marginalizing Smith Rowe, forget all of that. It might help convince Rice. Come on, man. If Rice is going to join us just because his boys are here, that's a stupid thing. It could help him. But when Declan Rice is thinking of a move to Arsenal, the first thing you should be thinking of is how long am I going to stay there and what can I win there? We're looking like we're becoming a team that trophies are not guaranteed, but we're going to compete and try and fight for them. How am I going to fit into the team collectively? How am I going to fit into the team individually? What's the manager's thoughts of me? What's the manager like as a person? How can he improve me? What's the way of life about? What is the club about? Then when you go through all of these things and several others, yeah, if your boys are there, which you got Saka, you got Eddie, which you tried to fight him last time out, you dare another carrot, but he's not going to go there just because, oh, my guy Mason Mount's there. It don't make no sense. And if he did want to sign for that, that's a myth. But he's got a bunch of England players that he's been here with, really. He wouldn't be cheap as well, even though he's got a year left. He might, where you would get a deal in terms of the transfer fee, you know, the wages are going to be crazy. He's going to want big wages, and I can't blame him. He's 24. If you're trying to sign Declan Rice, you know, you probably want him to sign a 4-year with an option of a 5th or a 5-year deal. You've got to be able to leverage these contracts while you can, really. And obviously, I don't think you're worth it, you know, as great as you are. I don't think you're worth it. If we get some other players off the wage book and we've set some aside, then why not? But who knows, man? Maybe he doesn't want that much, really. So we'll have to see. I think it's a good article, and I do think it'd be decent, you know, in terms of how he'd fit into the team, how Arteta could improve him in his age, and the untapped potential. But the wages probably means it's a myth for me, really and truly. Apparently, Rob Holding is targeting 5 wins from the final 5 games. Let's see specifically what the deputy standing centre half has said. We've got, smash the like button, by the way, people. We've got 5 games to go now. We have to worry about what we can control. Which are those 5 games? Easier said than done against Chelsea, Newcastle, Nottingham Forest, Wolves, Brighton. Easier said than, definitely Brighton and Newcastle. Easier said than done. We can't control anything, but all we can do is keep putting pressure on City. All we can do is let them keep looking over their shoulder. Now the hunters have become the hunted in our aspect. If we get maximum points, you see, anytime there's ifs and buts, it's crazy. What will happen in the other games elsewhere will happen, and we'll see where we are at the end of the season. We've secured qualification for the Champions League next year, which was one of the big goals at the start of the year. So that's a nice positive to take, but we still got 5 games left. If we get 15 points from them, we'll see where it leaves us at the end of the season. And we come into this off the back of one win in our last 5 games. So we need to improve. The first of those 5 games comes against Chelsea tonight. People smash the like button. We have 5 straight defeats and a 12th in the table. Holden has said as well, that plays into their advantage because we don't really know what to expect. We know the quality that they have. Frank Lampard is back there now, a club legend, so he might get them going for a London derby. You never know. We know the quality of players they have. We know they're not on a great run right now, but in a London derby, anything can happen, which we've seen. We've just got to be ready for anything. It's a little bit of the unknown, but we'll do as much prep as we can, focus on ourselves, and hopefully get 3 points. Emphasis on hopefully. So yeah, in relation to what Rob Holding has said, any potential transfer news, people, that's all that there really is, people, really and truly. So I'm not going to bore you lot with anything else. Let me know your thoughts by commenting when this video premieres / in the comment section. Join me at 7 p.m. for Arsenal versus Chelsea watch along. Check out the rest of the content. Make sure you're following on Twitch and YouTube. Most importantly, stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll meet you lot again soon.
Because you always use that active red flag, defending.
I think it's like